Hey girls, right, so let's start this stretch. So obviously if you've got a mat, great. If you haven't, then just use your carpet at home. Just make sure you've got some support under your knees. Make sure you've got no injuries. Okay, let's get started. So arms up nice and high. Reach up as high as you possibly can to the ceiling, and then we're going to forward fold to flat back and hold it here. Push your butt out behind you, and then slowly let the body just roll down and hang here, tipping forwards onto the balls of your feet. Just remember to keep breathing throughout this whole exercise. Relax your muscles. And then we're going to bend our knees and roll it back up. And then let's do the same again. So reach up nice and tall. Forward fold. Stopping up flat back. Reach those arms forward a tiny bit more. And then roll it all the way down. Okay, this time we're going to step back with our left leg into lunge. Just make sure that your knee is directly over the top of your ankle, not pushed forward like this. Take your right leg back to join it. Push into down dog. And then bringing your left leg back through to lunge on the opposite side. Keep this back leg straight, keep engaging the hip, pushing it down towards the ground. And then join those feet together. And roll it up, chest towards the legs. And then take a small bend in the knees and raise yourself up. Let's just put this on shuffle. Let's just move this a little bit so you can see what's going on. Okay, so, sorry you can't see my top half at the moment, but once I'm down on the ground you will. Okay, so reaching up nice and tall, we're going to forward fold. This time we're going to keep going all the way down. And we're going to step back with our right leg. Turn into side lunge. We're going to point and flex that toe. Push this knee out towards the side and lower in under here. As you point and flex, see if you can creep your toe forwards a little bit further. Okay, back into lunge. Step together into a tuck. Roll it up. All the way to the top. Reach up nice and tall. And forward fold again. All the way down. This time we're going to step back with our left leg. Pushing down through this hip, engaging through the knee. And then turn to side lunge on the other side. So again, pointing and flexing your toe, try and creep that foot a little bit further forwards. Just remember to keep pushing this knee out to the side. Okay, from here, we're going to go back to lunge. Push back down through your hip. Step your feet together and crouch down. Okay, roll yourself up, chest to legs. And come up nice and tall. Okay, so starting with our normal lunge. Let's go left leg first. So, keeping it a nice tight lunge. We're going to tip the hips back and then tip them forwards and engage underneath the glutes. Really squeeze tight as you can. Keep squeezing. Keep squeezing. And relax. Step that foot forward just a tiny bit. And before we push forwards, we're going to engage again. So tip the hips back and tip them under and squeeze. Then we're going to start to inch our body forward, but keeping the butt squeezed. Remember, don't let it go. Keep it engaged. You should feel a stretch through the front of your hip. Keep pushing, keep squeezing, and hold. Hands on the knees for support, or if you've got some blocks, hold to the side. And release back off. Okay, we're going to go one more time, but this time we're going to push through to lunge first. So pushing down as deep as you can go, hands on the knees, peel the belly away, and then tuck that bottom underneath. Keep tucking, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. What's happened to the music? What is going on here? And release. Okay, this time we're going to push down a little bit deeper. Woo, getting a bit of a sweat on here, guys. So pushing down as far as you can go. And we're going to reach down with our right hand and up with our left hand. Really think about pushing this hip down to the ground, guys. See if we can sort him out. Don't know what's going on with this music today. Okay, bring yourself back up and then down to the other side and lift that hand up in the air. hands on the ground. We're going to push back into hamstring stretch here. So what I want you to think about is folding from the hips. So we don't want to be too arched over in this position. So lifting the chest and bringing the tummy down. Maybe keep your gaze forwards if it helps. And then we're going to point and flex here as much as we can. Okay, we're going to creep those hands forward a tiny little bit, and now we're going to let the body relax over the top of the leg. Okay, we're going to make some circles with our toe now. So round and round. Keep the body low, just make the circles. And then the other way, round. Remember to keep your chest as low as you can. Okay, stop in there, walk the hands forward a tiny bit, lower towards the leg. And then we're going to take both hands over to the left hand side of your left leg. Remember to remain as close to your leg as you can. And then taking it over to the other side, we're going to push the bottom backwards and away from you. And then back to center. Folding over the leg one more time. You can roll over this time. Okay, walking backwards, we're going to sit down onto our foot. Untap the foot a little bit so that you can get grounded. If you need to pull your bottom out, you can. So, we're going to reach up nice and tall and forward fold over that leg. Just remember to keep breathing, guys. And then coming back up, we're going to take this leg over the top of the other leg and take a twist through the back. So elbow holds on to the knee, push the bottom down, make sure it's grounded, and take that twist through your back. Really think about pushing your butt cheeks down to the ground. One last squeeze down with the bum cheek. Awesome. Okay, we're going to come all the way through now, back through to our lunge on the same side. And if you can, we're going to come down to elbows. Try and keep your knee inwards, don't let it rock out too much. And we're going to think about really pushing this hip down towards the ground. So really, really think about squeezing that knee into the ground. And then heel toe out to the side, and then pushing on that knee just for a little bit of extra stretch. As you do, really think about pushing this hip down to the ground again. And the music's gone off again. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. And then we're going to come all the way back through to pigeon. Take that leg through. See if we can get the radio on this other iPad whilst we're doing this. Okay, so thinking about your hip going down towards the ground, guys. Really, really engage through the front of your hip. body down. Really think about pushing your hip now, so look down towards where your hip is and really push into the ground. Okay, we're going to reach forwards and lay ourselves down. Remember to take a few deep breaths, feel the stretch through your glute. And then bringing yourself back up, we're going to come through, straight through to triangle. So, both feet facing forward, make sure that your hips not turned out. Okay, what I want you to think about doing now is lifting up your chest. We're going to come all the way up. And then we're going to hold our arms up high. And we're going to forward fold as flat back down as we can, for as long as we can. You might lose a bit of balance. Just be careful. And all the way down. Just keep pushing that heel into the back of the, your back heel down into the ground, guys. Really feel a stretch through your calves, and you should be feeling it under here too. Okay, walking it round to the other side. And then take a bend in the knees and stand up. Okay, let's switch. Right guys, I'm back and I think I've sorted the music. I've got a little bit of smart music for the other leg. Okay, so let's start that whole process again. So we're facing the other way. We're going to do right leg this time. And we're going to tip the bottom back and then tuck it all the way under and engage through that glute. Both glutes, squeeze them nice and tight. Keep squeezing. Keep squeezing. And relax. Okay, tipping the bottom back. We're then going to tuck it back under again, as tight as you can. Feel that stretch through the front of your hip flexor. Then we're going to start to ease our way forward. So keeping that tension in the glute, squeeze it. You'll really feel a stretch through the front of your hip now. Just make sure that your knee's not over the front of your ankle and keep this engaged. Keep squeezing. And release. Okay, so I'm going to push down this time all the way without squeezing, and then we'll squeeze when we get to the bottom. So, pushing down as deep as you can go into your lunge. Feel your hip open, and now clench and tighten everything underneath. Pull through your glutes, feel the stretch in your front of your hip flexor, and hold. Remember, you can hold your knees or your blocks. Keep breathing, keep squeezing. Amazing. Okay. So, from here we're going to release. Then we're going to push down as deep as we can go, but with no tension this time. All the way down. Put your left hand down on the ground and lift your right arm in the air. Take a little twist through your back. Keep remembering to push your hip flexor down to the ground. And then switching sides, we're going to come up to the knee. Put the right hand down and lift that left arm in the air. centre, we're going to push back into our hamstring stretch here. Okay, so just lift the chest, forward fold, try not to roll over too much at the moment, try and stay as flat through the back as you possibly can. Really push your chest down towards your leg. Top tip, guys, put the fire on. Even though it's hot outside, it makes you stretch more. Stay nice and toasty. Remember, if the body gets cold, make sure you do another little warm up. Okay, we're going to point and flex here. You can let the body roll over the leg a little bit more now. Point and flex. Okay, walk those hands forwards a tiny little bit more, lay over the leg a little bit more, and then we're going to take those circles. It isn't pleasant, but it's good. Keep circling, keep your chest low. And then go the other way. Stopping there with the foot flexed, we're going to take a walk over the right hand side of our leg. Take a twist through the body. Remember to keep the chest low. And then let's switch sides over to the other side. And then we're going to push our bottoms back and away. Feel a stretch through the underside of the hamstring. Come back to centre, one last push down, and then you're going to sit yourself down onto your bottom. So just untop the foot slightly so that you can keep both feet grounded. Might mean that your toe pokes out a little bit here. Okay, so from here we're going to reach up nice and tall, and as flat back as you can, just roll it over the body, and then once you've reached that point, relax down. Remember to take your breaths here, guys. Coming back up, we're going to take that leg over the top of the other leg, and then we're going to put our hand on our leg. Hello, Spencer. Just remember to push your bottom down to the ground as you pull your leg through. Hi, baby. You come to say hello. Want to stretch? Lay down then. Lay down. Don't get in the way. Good boy. Just remember to keep that bottom grounded. I feel like we should stretch with animals at the studio. It'd be so much nicer. Okay, right, coming out of this, we're going to push straight through, and we're going to come, whoops, excuse me, baby. We're going to come straight through to our lunge. And down onto our elbows. Hope you can still see me here. I think you can. Just remember to keep this knee nice and tight. Don't let it rock out just yet. Engage your hip, push it down to the ground. Keep squeezing and engaging. Way. Come on over here. Come on. Remember to heel toe to the side, and then gently push on that knee. Remember to Remember to keep pushing your hip down to the ground. Okay, walking the foot back through. We're going to come straight through to pigeon. Take it all the way through to the other side. Remember, if you need to make it a little bit easier, you can always walk your foot backwards slightly, this one here. Or if you want to make it a little bit harder, lift the foot and pull it forwards. Okay. Sitting up nice and tall, pushing down through your hip flexor. Feel the stretch through your glute. And then lay yourself down. Remember to take your breaths and try and get your hip to land on the floor. Push it down, squeeze it down. And we're walking it back up. You're going to come straight through to our triangle. Again, both feet facing forwards. Try and keep your hip turned under, don't let it open out. And try and take your chest down as close to your leg as you possibly can. Keep pushing the heel into the ground behind you. And then if we can, we're going to come up. A little challenge for you. Don't do this if you don't feel like you can. Reach up nice and tall. And then forward folding over that leg. Okay, walk the hands round all the way to the other side. And then step your feet together. Okay, let's do 5 little tucks here, guys. So just as we normally do, you're going to keep your hands grounded or as low as you can for as long as you can. Chest as close to the legs, and then we're going to roll up. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Take a small bend in your knees and roll yourselves up. Okay, let's just do a tiny little bit more hamstring work. Let's start with our left leg again. So, left leg in as tight as you possibly can, bending in the knee. Don't forget to tip your hips forward so that you can get maximum stretch as flat back as you can. Okay, so arms up nice and high, and then slowly in your own time, take your chest forward, keep your gaze forwards. And then when you feel like you can't do any more flat back, let the body just roll over the leg. remember to keep breathing whilst you're here, guys. Just relax that leg on every exhale. And then roll it all the way back up. Switching legs, so left leg forwards, right leg in. Reset the bottom if you need to tip it forwards. And then reaching up nice and tall, as high as you can. Really pull up through here. And then forward fold. Slowly, keeping your gaze forwards, as flat back as you can. And relax over the leg. And rolling it back up again, guys. Okay, so we're going to take a slightly wide stance. Go into straddle position. Move back a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Okay, so again, remember to pull your bottom out if you need to, just so that you can get a little bit of tip forwards. It really will help. Okay, so from here, we're going to reach up, twist towards, no, let's go left leg. Twist towards the left, and then folding it forwards over the top of that leg. Now you want to try and make sure that your bum cheeks are both grounded here. If one's lifting up off the ground, press it back down. Remember to keep breathing. Let the muscles relax on the exhale. And then rolling it back in and back up to centre. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So taking a turn and folding over the top of that leg. Again, just making sure that both bum cheeks are grounded. Really physically think about pushing both into the ground. And then we're going to keep our right hand on our right leg, and we're going to try and stay as low as we possibly can while we transfer the body all the way over to the other side. I want you to lay here for as long as you can. Just take some breaths and relax into the stretch. Sit yourself back up, and let's come into butterfly. So bring those legs in. So as tight as you possibly can, get them in, and then push those knees out to the side. Okay, so we're going to squeeze, hold on onto our feet. We're going to engage and push our knees out towards the side. Let's try and hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, carefully I want you to start to fold forwards, reaching the hands out just to wherever's comfortable. Take a few breaths here. Try to remember to not let the knees pop back up again. Keep them out as wide as you possibly can. And then roll forwards a little bit more. And then finally, as relaxed as you possibly can. And then bringing yourself back up. So I've got one more for you, but I need to move the camera, so I'm just going to do that now and I'll be back with you shortly. Hello Nutchy, you come to say hello as well? Hello. Say hello to the girls. Say hello to the girls. Are you a good boy? Okay guys, it's the stretch you will absolutely love, but we haven't got a wall to do it on, so I'm assuming most of you have a sofa at home, so we're going to use the sofa. So lay on your backs, push your butt up to the sofa as much as you possibly can, make sure you're centered, and then take the legs wide onto the top of the arms of the sofa. And then what we're going to do is just ease those down to wherever's comfortable for you. Try and make sure that they're even so that you haven't got one higher than the other. And then we're just going to relax here for a minute. You might want to just give your inside of your legs a little rub or a massage. It just helps to loosen it, and it helps to ease the pain when it's pulling. See if you can drop the legs down a tiny bit more. Just give them a wiggle. And then relax a little bit. Feel the tension. Hello, Nike. Hello, baby. You might get out the way of the camera though. You can lay here. Lay down. Good boy. You have a stretch as well. You having a stretch? Okay guys, from here I want you to think about tipping the hips down and then back up. So like a pelvic thrust. It's not pleasant, not gonna lie, but it really will help open this up. What are you doing? Keep tipping backwards and forwards. Okay, one last little wiggle with the feet to see if they'll go down a bit lower. Ooh. That is so. A little bit of a whack. Okay, right, now you've got to try and get out of this, one leg at a time. Oh, and the other one. Are you having a stretch? Are you having a stretch? And roll yourself out. Are you doing what Mummy's doing? Are you doing what Mummy's doing? Yeah, good boy. Love you. Okay. Right guys, probably got one more that I could show you on here actually, which would be helpful. So let's go over to this arm of the chair. For your hips, for those of you who can't get your hips down. So like we do on the wall at the studio, you're going to put your knee up against the sofa and then you're going to bring your other foot out into a lunge position. from here, you're going to sit yourself up nice and tall and hold on to the sofa, feeling a stretch through the front of your quad there. And then we're going to ease that foot forwards, pushing down through into the lunge, and you should now feel a stretch through the front of your hip. Just remember to keep breathing. And switch legs. Let's just move the camera a little bit so you can see what's going on. Managed to get my nails done. Perks of being at home. Okay. So, right leg up this time, right in up against the sofa, and then the other one comes up into lunge position. Okay. Sit yourself up nice and tall and really feel the stretch through here. If you can't quite feel it, tuck your hips under and you really will be able to feel it. Slide that foot forwards and push down through your hips so that you can feel a stretch through the front of your quad there. Awesome. Okay, so what I need you to do now is grab some blocks, something to hold on to if you need them. We're going to get into our splits. You can use cushions if you haven't got blocks at home to be able to pop underneath you for when we do the hold. But just improvise. If you haven't got stuff at home, just improvise, but make sure that you're doing it safely. Right then guys, I'm going to use my cushions to pop underneath me. I'm going to go left leg first again. So, make sure I'm in a good shot here for you girls. So, if you need blocks, don't forget to use blocks or something that you can use from home instead of blocks. So, we're going to push down to wherever is a comfortable split for you without pushing too far. Find your place. Try and keep your hands as close to your sides as you can without leaning forwards too much. And then we're going to take up the back foot and we're going to lift up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release and push down. Switching sides. Sorry, I've got a low battery coming on here. Let's just change this. There we go. Hopefully that didn't affect it. So, switching sides, going the other way. Remember, if you're doing this in front of a camera, to stay open to the camera so you can see if your hips are going down. So, with your blocks or your cushions underneath you, again, find that split that's comfortable for you. And then from here, we're going to tuck up the back toe. Remember to engage everything underneath as you lift up. And we're going to lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take down the back leg, push a bit deeper into your split and sit yourself up. Take a few breaths here, guys. And then repeat on the other side again. This time I would like you to take away one of your blocks. See if you can push a bit deeper. Okay. Again, down to wherever's comfortable for you. tuck up that back toe and push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the foot and push down a little bit deeper. Think about getting that hip forward, guys. And coming out. Switching sides. Okay, back down you go. Okay, and come in the shot still. Are we ready to push? Lift up that back toe and engage for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the back knee and push down into your split. Again, thinking about this hip, so try and rock it over. Awesome. Okay, time to move and see where you can get to. Feel free by this point, if you want to, girls, keep your block underneath you if you need to for guidance, especially if you haven't got anything to hold on at the sides with. We don't want you going into this too quickly, so either use something to hold on to at the sides or make sure you've got some support underneath you. Okay, so into your splits. Left leg first, pushing down, ease yourself in. Remember to keep your hands by your sides and pose. Other side. Get yourself comfortable, make sure that you're square, make sure your hips turned under. Well done, girls. Hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully it will just keep you going for a little bit. It just gives you an alternative stretch to do. It's not too complicated. And yeah, stay flexy, don't lose your splits.